Hey, welcome back. So today this video is going to be something that I haven't done in quite some time now. So I'm basically going to call this a D drives, but in today's video it's going to be more like a review of the first giveaway car, which is right here, which is the 2019 Ford Mustang GT with the twin turbo and of course other modifications. So today I'm basically just going to drive it around and then just give you my opinion of how it feels with all of the modifications, which I'll go over, and most importantly how it feels now with the twin turbo. Today is going to be the last drive with this car because the owner is already coming next week. So he's coming next week to see the car, and then a transport is going to take it back to Indiana where he lives. So this is kind of like a bittersweet moment, but I'm really going to enjoy this drive just to talk to you more about how it feels. After this drive, the car is going back to the shop, and then that's it until the owner comes and picks it up. Here we have the Mustang GT with the hood open to take a look at the twin turbos, which are non-existent. The reason for that is because this twin turbo kit is a sleeper kit, so the turbos are mounted underneath the car, so it pretty much looks stock if you were to look at this engine bay. But there are a few dead giveaways here, a few changes that you would be able to notice that this car is not stock. So the first thing is this piping here that comes from the intercooler to the throttle body. So the stock one is a rubber material, but this one is a metal material. So that's one visible change here. The other visible change is right here. Where is your oil cap? So now that's gone. So if you can see here, take a look underneath the engine cover, you see there's a hose here. So in order to pour oil into the engine, you would have to remove this hose and just basically get a funnel that's deep enough, and then you'd be able to pour oil that way. So for the most part, those are the only changes. Now I know you guys are probably noticing that the intake box cover is missing. The reason for that is because you actually have to modify the intake box a little bit, which I still haven't gotten the chance to do that, in order to be able to fit this piping here. Before we take it out for a drive, we're going to get a warm start of the car. Now this car currently has a full Army-Trix exhaust, so when it first turns on, the valves will be closed. So I'll just leave it like that for a bit so we can hear how that sounds, and then I'll open the valves. This, how it sounds now, is with the valves closed. So now let's open them. Big difference. Okay, so before we start, I'm going to tell you I'm not going to launch this car right now, and I'm not going to do anything from either first or second. Maybe I'll do a pull from second gear, but I'm just going to not do anything crazy because first of all, this car is no longer mine, and second of all, like I said, it doesn't have any grip. So once I get more road, then I'll try the second just so you guys can see. I won't stay on it for long, and of course I'll do a 60 roll on third gear. So enough talking, let's get driving. So first I want to speak about the suspension on this car, because the suspension, there were a lot of parts that were upgraded with this car. So just to name a few, all of these parts are from BMR. It does have lowering springs, so it is lowered, not by much, so it's like about 3/4 of an inch or so. So it's a nice subtle drop, something I like. It's not too much where you're like all the way at the floor, but it's good. So these are sport performance springs. It also has adjustable sway bars both in the front and the rear. Right now they're both in the middle setting, which is the neutral setting. They also have adjustable end links both at the front and in the rear. And in the rear it also has vertical links, it has tow rods, and it has IRS support brakes. So no nothing stock about the suspension whatsoever. But right off, just comparing it to how it drove stock from now, you can feel more of the road, which is of course a good thing, and it just doesn't feel floaty. It feels very planted. Even when you make turns, it just feels really good, which is exactly what I was aiming for. So I'd say that you can notice the difference with these suspension parts, which by the way, the valves are open right now. Can you hear that? Sounds awesome. So you can feel the difference with the suspension parts, but honestly, it's not uncomfortable. You can take this car how it sits right now and do a long road trip if you want, and it's going to be completely fine. So another upgrade that was done were the brakes. So it currently has DBA brakes. So they're both slotted and drilled for the front and the rear. Now the front are a 2-piece rotor. The good thing about this 2-piece rotor in the front is that they are much lighter than the stock ones. And this car, which I think I did forget to say, this is a performance package. And other than them just looking nice with the slotted and drilled and just being aesthetic, they also serve for performance. So you get a few benefits from this. So you get better heat dissipation, you get better cooling, stronger brake pad, and also less brake fade. So no complaints whatsoever. Once I do a few pulls, you guys will see how good these brakes work, which that'll be very soon. So now let's talk about just the main thing about this car, which is the twin turbo kit. So just to speak a little bit about how it feels driving normal now, when you're just not pushing it, when you're not just going full throttle, let me tell you that it drives perfectly normal, as in like you can't even tell that it has twin turbos. It drives stock, there's no lag. You wouldn't be able to tell that it has a twin turbo until, of course, you step on it and you go full throttle, which I think is a huge plus. I mean, just the way this car is set up in general, I think is a huge plus. I really like the fact that you can drive it normally on the road, cruise, be comfortable, and it's not going to feel like, you know what, I really don't feel that I can do this every day. This could be like a fun car, but not every day. No, this has both. You can drive it every day, feel comfortable, and you can also, of course, have fun and experience the power, because just like you guys are hearing, it's not bad at all, at least whatsoever here in the inside with the exhaust. So it's not crazy loud. Like I said, it's very manageable. You can hear that it does have an exhaust, but it sounds nice. You can still talk to someone here. It's very good. Like I said, also with the suspension, it feels good as well. So overall, I think this would make a nice daily, but of course, you can also have fun with it. I'm a little nervous, but just to show you guys, I'm going to do a quick pull now. So it's going to be in second gear, and it's going to be a 40 roll. So let's see. Let's see how this goes. So you guys saw how there's just no traction, and if I were to stay on it, it would get a little bit hard to control. So that's why I just let off of it. Okay, so now I'm going to do a 60 in third. Whew! So you can tell that it grips and it pulls you back. Man, it is fast. My heart is beating a little. That's so much fun though, and it sounds insane. Let's do another pull, because of course I love that so much. So again, another 60 in third gear. And there you go, with those DBA brakes working. I can't even talk. But you see, it stops the car, it gets the job done. Let's end the driving part with another pull, because this is going to be the last time that I enjoy the car like this. So let's do another 60 in third. Love it, and I'm going to miss that. Let's take one last look at the car externally with all of the cosmetic modifications that I've mentioned in my previous videos. So just to give you a quick walk around, because this is at least my last time seeing it outside, and of course with those variant wheels that I love. So now it's on to the rear. This looks very nice. It's come a long way since stock, and of course it looks a lot better. I had a great time driving this. I really am going to miss it, but I'm also so happy to see it go to its new owner and can't wait until he comes next week, sees it, to see his reaction. Then of course when it leaves to Indiana. Now, although I really enjoy this car, I have one negative thing to say about this, and that is the transmission. Yes, it is a 10-speed, it is very fast, but that transmission, I just can't stand the way it shifts. It really just holds the revs way too long, and it just jolts you forward every single time. It just redlines and it jolts you forward, and honestly, that is just really annoying because it's fast, but it can be quicker if it didn't do that. I mean, this does it, the Raptor does it, and even though it's fast, it's really annoying. Now, another thing that I did forget to tell you, which of course you guys may be wondering, is how much did it make now with the twin turbo kit? So I just took it to the dyno, and guess what? It made 680 wheel horsepower and 562 pounds of torque. So that is a huge difference from stock. So it made over 200 wheel horsepower from when it was stock. Again, I enjoyed this car. I like how you can drive it as a daily driver and also have tons of fun with it, with the power. You just need to be careful with that traction, but other than that, I absolutely loved it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.